Hi there, this is Sam from One Deep Breath, and this is going to be a quick video on why nose breathing is better breathing for your body and your mind. The truth is, if you're like most people, you're breathing wrong. I know this sounds absurd considering we all breathe roughly 20,000 times a day, but the simple fact of the matter is that the average person doesn't just breathe too quickly, but also the wrong way, through the mouth. In a recent survey, 61% of adults self-identified as mouth breathers. Now, this might not seem all that problematic. What could really be so bad about mouth breathing? Well, for starters, mouth breathing is bad for your oral posture. In a perfect world, your tongue touches the roof of your mouth, giving the air you inhale a clear path to the lungs. But when you breathe through your mouth, the tongue naturally drops down into the throat, which blocks and constricts our natural airways. This prevents you from getting enough air to fuel all those oxygen-hungry cells, including your brain. It can even lead to crooked teeth, jaw misalignment, and a whole host of other issues, including bad breath. More importantly, mouth breathing is tied to substantially higher rates of snoring, insomnia, and sleep apnea. If you're a mouth breather, you might not even realize how much it's impacting your sleep. Breathing is also extremely dehydrating to the body because it triggers the release of a hormone called vasopressin, which increases the depletion of water in the body by up to 40%. Mouth breathing can also lead to an imbalance of oxygen in the prefrontal cortex, which is the part of the brain that influences decision-making, focus, and social behavior. Combined with its effects on sleep, it's no surprise that researchers are beginning to find a link between mouth breathing and ADHD. The simple fact of the matter is that we're meant to breathe out of our nose, so it's no surprise that there's a host of benefits that come from nose breathing that we simply can't get from mouth breathing. The air produced by nose breathing is warmer, cleaner, and easier for our lungs and cells to absorb. Rates of sleep apnea and snoring are considerably lower. Nose breathing leads to a 6-fold increase in an amazing compound called nitric oxide. Nose breathing may even have an impact on the parasympathetic nervous system to help us get out of fight or flight mode and decrease stress and anxiety. Lastly, nasal breathing has been a proven and effective way to treat the common symptoms of seasonal allergies. The reason nose breathing is so beneficial is straightforward. While air from mouth breathing more or less goes directly from outside our body into our lungs, air inhaled from nose breathing navigates a complex system of tubes and tissues that prepares the air for our lungs. Mucus, which is guided along by little hair-like structures called cilia, actually acts as the first layer of defense against outside invaders. Plus, the air also becomes pressurized in the sinuses, which makes the tissues of the nose, mouth, and throat less flabby and capable of handling more air. This means that breathing out of your nose makes it easier to breathe out of your nose in the future, which is why it's such an important habit to have. Still, the single most important reason that nose breathing is better than mouth breathing is because it produces 6 times more nitric oxide. Every cell in our body runs on oxygen, and nitric oxide's primary role is to increase circulation and make it easier for these cells to receive the oxygen they need to function. But on top of making breathing more efficient, nitric oxide has an impact on the immune system, weight regulation, mood, circulation, and sexual function. It touches just about every aspect of our health in one way or another, and we simply don't get enough nitric oxide when we're only breathing out of our mouth. Another great thing about nose breathing is that, well, we all know how to do it. Still, for a lot of people, nose breathing doesn't come naturally. Start by taking 5 to 10 minutes out of your day to consciously breathe through your nose. I recommend following one of our guided exercises like the Optimal Everyday Pattern, which has a whole slew of its own health benefits. When you catch yourself throughout the day breathing out of your mouth, make it an opportunity to consciously breathe out of your nose. With the One Deep Breath app, you can also set reminders throughout the day to do this. Exercise is another great time to incorporate nose breathing. Try and switch to half nose breathing, half mouth breathing, and eventually only breathe out of your mouth when you really need it. Finally, if you find yourself breathing out of your mouth when you sleep, you can try sticking a piece of tape over your mouth at night to prevent yourself from snoring. Now, I know it sounds nuts, but it's a great way to subconsciously build up the habit and get better sleep. And hey, remember how we talked about pressurized air from nose breathing strengthens the tissues of the sinuses and the throat? Well, the more you use nose breathing, the easier it will be. Soon you'll be doing it without even thinking about it. If you want personalized reminders to breathe, you can download the One Deep Breath app and set reminders throughout the day to nose breathe. Or you can take advantage of our guided breathing exercises for stress, anxiety, energy, and sleep. Download the app at onedeepbreath.io and start improving your life one deep breath at a time.